This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I think this is the best deck in 2021 Standard. I don't think it's close. This deck is absolutely ridiculous. And you might just say, oh my god, CGB, it's just a Simic adventure deck without Bonecrusher Giant. How can that actually be better? And the answer to that is that it plays Uro. Uro is definitely one of the busted-ish cards left. I think everybody knows how good Uro is. But Uro in Teamer Adventures isn't very good, because you're not filling your graveyard. The cards you cast go to the adventure pile. You're relying on the opponent to fill the graveyard for you. Oftentimes you're playing Uro as a 3-mana, gain 3, draw a card, and sometimes ramp. And that's okay. But that's not what makes Uro busted. What makes Uro busted is that you can turn mostly free resources, stuff that goes to the graveyard, into a 6/6 draw 3, draw 3, draw a card, gain 3 life. That threatens to do it again and again. That is what makes Uro busted, and this deck does it, because this deck, instead of running Bonecrusher Giant like the Teamer build, runs Merfolk Secret Keeper. Merfolk Secret Keeper mills a player 4 cards, which is a lot of fuel for the Uro. Then the 0/4 wall, you usually only want to play it when you have an Innkeeper or an Henge, because you get to draw a card as well, which is freaking sweet. If it said basically 1 mana, get back your Uro, and then 1 more mana, draw a card, that's a nice card, and that's what Secret Keeper is most of the time. And that's not even counting if the wall, the 0/4-ness, actually blocks anything. But this isn't just an enabler for Uro. When you're only milling yourself to enable Uro, that usually means you have some bad cards in your deck. We already covered why Secret Keeper usually isn't a bad card, but it gets better. This card is a win con. You will mill the opponent out. You will do it often in this format. It is not hard to do. It is actually something you plan your games around. Often the game comes down to Merfolk Secret Keeper, and they are just out of cards because it's so hard to remove Lucky Clover in this frickin' format, and it just piles up on the battlefield, and eventually you're just Merfolk Secret Keeping the opponent once or twice, and they're out of deck. And that is the over-the-top way that this deck wins the mirror. Both decks pile up a ton of value. You draw a lot of cards, they draw a lot of cards. The adventure deck, the Teamer Adventure deck, is drawing a ton of cards just to keep up with it, you doing all the same thing. You're both in a race to get your hands on so many cards and ramp out your deck with Beanstalk Giant and Lucky Clover. And then, out of nowhere, boom, their deck's gone. Yep, that's right. This gamer has no deck. It's actually kind of glorious. It might just need to be called Simic Mill, because you end up doing it so much. And the deck doesn't have removal, but it has 4 Brazen Borrowers, which combined with Lucky Clover can really set an opponent back and keep Embercleave from beating you. It has a ton of life gain in Uro, the Great Henge, and Radiant Fountain in the mana base, because we have a much better mana base than Teamer. Much less tapped lands. That is a big deal as well. And we can fit in some free life gain from the mana, which is absolutely sweet. The deck is all 4 ofs except for this one Great Henge, which is just another over-the-top mega engine. I experimented with 2 Great Henge and 26 land, but too often my Uro wasn't putting a land into play, so I ended up cutting a land to add the Great Henge. You can run castles. If you want to run the castle, go ahead, but I found I never activated it. I never ran out of stuff to do. This deck it just does so much. Now, another place where the Simic version suffers versus the Teamer version is the sideboard. You don't have as many options, but by being creative, you can actually still do a ton of work with the sideboard. You just end up taking lines that seem like they should be from a limited game of Magic. It's kind of absurd. Here, I'll jump over here, because we're going to talk about these in a bit more depth. Number one. The big, what the heck? There's a Radiant Fountain in the sideboard. Yes, You need to hit all of your land drops and make big plays. I'm recording another one from the future here today. I did a batch recording where I played a ton of 2021 Standard to prepare for a showdown that I did with my podcast co-host Arjuna. Listen to the podcast, Arena Craft Pod, if you want to know how that went. And then I recorded the intros and outros after, which is why you're seeing videos presented like this for the last few days. But the Radiant Fountain in the sideboard, it comes up, man. You need more land. This deck always needs more land, and sometimes all you need to win is enough life to stay alive. This deck will almost always win the long game, so having some life attached to the land makes a lot of sense. One Primal Might. Okay, we don't have Fling. I know many of you are very, very sad that you don't have Fling, but get creative. We can build our Fling. We can do it our way. No explosion either. Primal Might is sometimes a removal spell, but it's also part of an endgame package. When you have 2 Lucky Clovers and you cast Fae of Wishes and you have a Beanstalk Giant, in the past you would just get Fling and Expansion Explosion and win. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get Primal Might. We're going to get Shadow Spear to give the Beanstalk Giant trample, and if they have a creature, we're going to get Ram Through. And Ram Through will let the Beanstalk Giant do all this damage to a little creature and do face damage, and the Primal Might puts it over the top as well, so that you can make whatever creature as big as you need to do this combo. Maybe you don't have a Beanstalk Giant, right? But that's what Ram Through and Primal Might are, both removal spells, but part of a combo finish with Shadow Spear. So keep in mind, you're building your own Fling with Ram Through and Shadow Spear and potentially Primal Might thrown in. Also, we've got Ugin. That shouldn't surprise you, but some decks fold to this. The white aggro deck of the format folds to this. Overflowing Insight. Target player draws 7. This is kind of your escape to the wilds, where you have a ton of mana but not much to do. You can just rip 7 cards. But this is also another piece of the mill win con. You can target your opponent with this card. So when you're casting Fae of Wishes and you think the deck is coming down to decking and you're grabbing cards that are for decking the opponent, Overflowing Insight is one of them. The other one is Unsummon. This sometimes keeps you alive, but oftentimes we're grabbing it to summon back our Merfolk Secret Keeper and mill the opponent again. So keep those lines in mind when you're using the wish board. Once in Future also can get back Secret Keepers or Clovers, whatever you need to finish the game, but you can also fetch this. If you have lethal over 2 attacks, because you have, say, 2 Lovestruck Beasts in a row, you can grab Sleep, put your opponent's creatures to sleep, attack them, use Once in Future to get back Sleep, do it again. The sleep win con is a sneaky one, but it is effective, and it is very effective in the mirror, where we don't have a sweeper and both sides just have a ton of stuff. So don't fetch Ugin and sweep your board as well. Fetch Sleep. One-sided, tap down the opponent, and then crush them. It's great. Neutralize, because sometimes you want to counter to make sure everything goes the way you need it to. Sorcerer's Spyglass. I have named Garruk more than anything else, but the Planeswalkers in this set, while they're not nearly as good as the Planeswalkers that have left the format, they are hard to remove. They're actually a pain. Like Basri, Ket, actually ultimates really quickly, and Spyglass is one way to keep that from happening without having to attack the bugger. And Return to Nature is for hitting the opponent's Clovers. I've thought about adding 2 or 3 more Return to Natures to the sideboard, just so that when I have a Clover and a Fae and I'm in the mirror, I can just go fetch 2 Return to Natures. But most of the time I fetch Return to Nature and Once in Future, and it's okay. And we talked about Shadow Spear, but it's also a life gain source if your life total is low and you're against Burn. Mystic Repeal is great against Annex, is great against Doom Foretold, and great against a number of other things that float around. Unsummon we talked about. Sometimes it's a removal spell or a way to break up Mutate. Sometimes it's the win con. And Miscast. Sometimes you don't let the opponent cast that thing they want to cast. If they're mysteriously holding up 2 or 3 mana, fetching a miscast can make a big difference in resolving your big epic turns. Because all of these cycles, all of these patterns I'm describing take a lot of mana, and if the opponent interferes, it could be a disaster. So grabbing a miscast is usually a good idea. And a Tormod's Crypt. Sometimes you just gotta hit that cycling graveyard on turn 4. Don't be afraid to do it. Fae of Wishes on turn 4, go get Tormod's Crypt, get it on the battlefield, have it ready to stop the Zenith Flare. Big deal. All right. I've talked a lot about this deck because I don't think it's intuitive, but if this is appealing to you, watch the games, really listen to the decisions. It's a very interesting deck, and I think it's hard to play, but I think it is the best. So let's dive in and let this nonsense begin. The hand has Lovestruck Beast into Great Henge, so I think that's a pretty easy keep. Do we get the Joy of Mono Red? Probably. Ginger Brute says you'll have to wait and see if it's all Mono Red, but it probably is. Alright, let's make a Lovestruck Beastie. I think next turn what we're going to do is play the Innkeeper and a tap land, and then into Lovestruck Beast the following turn. The opponent sort of has to take a turn off to deal with the Innkeeper, unless they want to give me endless value. Oh my. Okay. I'll take the trade. Opponent with a lot of little 1-drops. I wonder if that means they're running the... What is the card? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Raid Bombardment. It was introduced for best of 1 through the new player deck lists. I do need to draw a land, but I can't turn the beast down. Yep, here they come. Alright, let's make 5/5. Miss land drop. Ouch. Let's save this. If the opponent attacks with the Arsonist, I think we're just blocking away our Innkeeper because the Arsonist will eventually kill it anyway. Pretty happy about that, though. Okay, their game plan is on the table, and right now the best thing they've got going is a Phoenix. But we're gonna miss another land. I think we better ramp, because I really want this Great Henge to happen. Really, really, really. Let's make a new 1/1. Say go. A few missed land drops has made this game closer than I thought it would be, looking at the opening hand. No, we didn't miss land drops, we just didn't draw land. We just had to work for it. Robber of the Rich. Are we going in? We're going in. Gutsy. I mean, I'm just killing that. That's just dead. Dead to me. Radiant Fountain. Thank you. Awesome. Great Henge. Lovestruck Beast. Gain life. Draw a card. Feel strong. Opponent's trying to ride this Phoenix. They don't know about the borrowers that are coming. Not so hot without your Embercleave, are you? I know, it's the mono red hating mean. CGB, stop being mean to red players. No, I cannot stop being mean to red players. I have to do things like this because that's just the way it is, okay? That's just the way it is. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to send a message to the red mages that we will not be victimized any longer by their aggression. What you got? Our line of play in the 2 untapped mana certainly implies we have another borrower. Curious how the opponent will play into or around it. The answer is not at all. Not at all. Oh, red mages never change. I mean, they can't beat, like, to be fair to the choices, they are probably saying I can't beat another borrower anyway, and I think they're right, so they just go playing as if I don't have one makes sense. What they did have as an option was to play the Bone Crusher Giant, and if I borrowed it, then they could stomp the 1/1. But I could always do that after declaring attacker. And we'll hang on to this one. It's got the Clover and the Beastie. Let's lead on the tapped land. Turn 2 Clover, turn 3 Beastie. Never mind. Let's do Heart's Desire now, Beastie next turn. We'll slow roll the Clover. Another Edgy does seem really good, except, well, wait. So turn 4 we can play double Innkeeper and Fae. That's pretty good. Alright, I'll keep it. Back-to-back mono reds to open the festivities. This deck is not great against Embercleave if it doesn't have Brazen Borrower, but it's good against everything else they can do. So, we'll see what happens. Opponent feeling aggressive with the Rimrock Knight. The 2 Rimrock Knights? I think they're going to regret that. I think if you just play 1 and keep that in your back pocket, you might have an easier way to get through the Lovestruck Beast, but I mean, the Beast is a known quantity, and they didn't play around it. Maybe they have 2 more. Here comes the stuff. Alright, Edgy. Edgy. They have to attack with everything to play an Embercleave, so we can sort of punish them by killing everything but the creature with the cleave, and then try to recover from there. And having a Fae of Wishes is pretty good. Plus they have to leave my Edgewall Innkeepers on the board, so there's a ton more value waiting. Alright, here they come. So, if they put the cleave here, the Beast still kills it. If we block here, the Arsonist can pick off 1 of the Edgewall Innkeepers. I think we're just fine with that. Here it comes. Everybody's favorite. That stupid Fervent Champion with the free equip, man. I hate it. I hate it so much. That's just one of those throwaway lines of text that's like, why? Why did it need to get free equips? There should be a cost associated with Embercleave. You should have to pay mana to equip the Embercleave. So, I don't have a way to remove this for 1 mana. If I did, that would be awesome. But next turn I can go get Return to Nature, and I have a blocker for this turn. So we can use this turn to play the Clover, the tap land, the Innkeeper. Burrow's pretty nice. 3 cards in graveyard isn't much, but we'll work on it. Embreth Shieldbreaker. Adventure Tech. What a soldier. Okay, so 4 damage total. Our opponent can kill just about everything. We could just take it, go to 7. I guess that's not the worst. Once we get rid of the Embercleave, throwing this stuff away would look pretty silly. One thing we have to be wary of is backup Embercleave. Because what else would be in their hand, right? Thinking about backup Embercleave, maybe we do just want to play another Fae of Wishes and absorb this hit and draw 2 now. We've got a lot of toughness, and having the backup Borrower seems really good. Just have to make sure we don't die really randomly. Yep, okay, no backup Cleave this turn. They're going full in on you. So 6, 12, this absorbs 8. So we're taking 4. This can go here. This can go here, this can go here, go to 3. Okay. As long as it's not 2. It is 2. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Math. Math is what I did wrong. Classic CGB. Uro. If we draw land, we can do Uro and Return to Nature. We don't. This will have to do. We've got a one-shot Borrower and a one-shot Return. Is it better to get this back? Go up to 8? Be able to block the Rimrock Knight? This pumps it. If we miss on the land, we're in huge trouble. I don't think it's worth it. I think we can survive this turn. Ginger Brood off the top. It's gonna be close. Bouncing the Rimrock Knight is pretty ugly. Don't really want to do that. We're at 5. This is 6. We have to bounce something. I guess if we have to wait until the castle is activated, I guess. There it goes. Petty Theft the Rimrock Knight. Back to hand. So now we're taking 4. But we can use a Return to Nature on the Ginger Brood and keep our Innkeeper if we want to. But I think saving it for the... I think it makes a lot more sense, though, to save it for the Cleave. Uno. Brazen Do Nothing Borrower. Let's see, if I go Clover, Clover Search, it's not enough. So we get you back. Radiant Fountain. Yeah. Okay. Hold this back for Phoenix. Everybody want in? Okay. Uro, take that out. Opponent goes in for pumping the Arsonist. Sure. Return to Nature, destroy target artifact. No more Ember Cleave. And we are at 3, but Uro is attacking. Scry first. Bingo. We can still hold this back for a Phoenix. The opponent might block with Arsonist and kill it, but whatever. They really want to be aggressive. I sort of want them to make that play. 12-12. How you doing? For your next trick, pumps. Petty Theft and Arsonist. And another. And that's the scoop. Can't go down to 2 there. Shock could come out of nowhere. We'll try it. We have to draw land. Or we're just making some 1/1s for a while, but I think it's worth a gamble. I don't like your dog, no offense. Boom. Lovestruck Beast Beatdown. Red Green Robber of the Rich. Interesting. Are you gonna slow your robber down? Are you feeling defensive from here? No. No, wants that damage. Get in while the getting's good. Slow roll the Radiant Fountain. We'll tilt them with the Radiant Fountain later. Don't you worry. Hard cast the Bone Crusher Giant. Spooky. Do you like beanstalks? We got beanstalks. Beanstalks are a thing we keep handy. Your opponent might be setting up for Embercleave. If we put enough pressure on them, maybe that's hard for them to do. Like, they're at 12. If they attack with everything and play an Embercleave, they die. Beast, that's a good one. That is a good one. No attack. They don't want to trade? Because that means I don't have to trade. You know what? Go ahead. Let's trade. Let's keep the pressure on. How much are you willing to lose? Our opponent might have multiple questies. Questy the bestie. Why haven't I been using that name ever since Eldraine dropped? Questy the bestie. Only when you're playing with it. The rest of the time, it's a horrific card to have to think about. Fertile Footsteps, go get the forest. Uro, get a little deeper. Our folks Secret Keeper, that can bring Uro right back. Now that there's a Lovestruck Beast in the graveyard. Our opponent's still in the same situation. If they attack with everything in Embercleave, they're in trouble. Alright, Elder Gargaroth. That can stabilize a battlefield. And heck of a card to put an Embercleave on as well, I would say. Alright, we're probably not going to beat the opponent down for victory. We've put enough pressure on them. It's time to turn this car around. Although, so we can bring back the Uro, or we can play a Beanstalk Giant. I believe we can also fetch with a Beanstalk Giant and get the Uro. I think getting the Uro is overall better. Target player mills 4. 1, 2, 3. We go get an island. Yeah, this still works. And that way we're ramping up for future turns and amazing Beanstalk Giants. And just basically giant slabs of beef on the battlefield as often as possible. I wonder if the Gargaroth attacks what I do. I don't want to trade it. I can't jump block it. I think we just want a Beanstalk Giant to go against the thing, so I think we have to wait a turn. Let's see what the opponent does. I want to be attacking with the Uro. I don't want it on defense. 3/3 Beast achieved. No blocks. Are you going to Embercleave it? That's a lot of turn, and it's a really good defender here. Alright, we need a Brazen Borrower or a Fae of Wishes pretty badly. We don't get one. Let's see if we can draw one. Especially with that Secret Keeper. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, that's how you frickin' do it. Do we bounce the Embercleave, though? I guess we see how the opponent blocks, right? This is a very elaborate setup, right? The opponent now, they might start thinking I have Brazen Borrower, or I'm bluffing really hard with all those like, ooh, tap, tap, tap and stuff. But what if I don't have it? I've got to remember this when I don't have the Borrower to make that bluff, to like tap the lands and fidget. I think that's really interesting gamesmanship. It's a double bluff though, because we do have it. I was just being eager, and then I decided I actually wanted to trade my Uro with the Gargaroth. Opponent in the tank. The Robber of the Rich? Dude, cool. All right, how much do we actually have? 9. So that's a Beanstalk Giant and 2 mana open. Probably, I don't know. Again, the Gargaroth can get in combat, we can block it, we can bounce the Embercleave, but they can replay it. So that doesn't solve the problem. I think what we want to do is bounce the Gargaroth, make them replay it and re-equip it, which they don't quite have the mana to do. The other thing we could do is just try to trade it. Just let the opponent have this attack, block it with the Beanstalk Giant, see what happens. I think that's not the play. There's too many ways that could go wrong. We'll just bounce you now. Leave the opponent without a good attack for this turn. They are at 7. They have to block the Beanstalk Giant pretty much forever. Yep, they replay it. Ooh. Oh man. Here I think it's right to bounce. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's so close to lethal. It's so close to lethal, guys. I think we just bounce the Gargaroth, attack with all. For the footsteps, go get another giant, another land for the giant, I mean. Get lots of blue available. Flashing in Borrower could definitely end the game. AG, it's pretty great. Who's the beatdown? The deck that put an Embercleave on an Elder Gargaroth? Or Lovestruck Beast Tribal here? Very reluctant blocks, I think. Just very sad. Very, very sad. Alright, Edgy, come on down. Secret Keeper, come on down. 4th Beanstalk Giant. We'll play a Brazen Borrower. Max pressure. Scoop it up. It is a hand of magic cards. Does stuff and things. It's deep analysis, I know, but we're probably doing like tap land, or maybe, yeah, tap land, Innkeeper, turn 3, cast Borrower, draw, or cast Uro, ramp. It's playable, but it's not great. Opponent opening on Temple of Milady. Double Innkeeper, huh? Let's just get them going. Let's just be aggressive. There's a lot of draws that could make this interesting. Any untapped land and we can go Innkeeper, Borrower, draw 2. That's not bad. There's an untapped land. And another borrower. Does the opponent have Pestilent Haze? Probably one of the more unexpected cards. And it's Cultivate. So our opponent's trying to do the Sultai ramp thing. And we'll see what all is going on with it. Maybe there's some special tech for them. It's a weird, it's a very weird deck in the format. The answers aren't nearly as good, and without the power of Nissa Krasis, even with the power of like Uro, Agonizing Remorse, Eliminate, Extinction Event, it's a much different deck. Probably needs something along the lines of a tempo strategy. Here is Underworld Dreams, which that is pure Into Depths combo. Probably. Miscast. Oh, and they're protecting the combo. Okay. So what do? I guess we have to bounce it when the combo is about to happen. They're not going to have enough mana this turn. So I'm talking, of course, about the Peer into the Abyss. I always say Peer into Depths because I'm an idiot, but Peer into the Abyss with Underworld Dreams is a one-shot kill. Another one of those decks I can't make work. When I run it, it never works. When other people run it, it's beautiful, gorgeous. Everything is amazing. Alright. But I think we're supposed to hold Brazen Borrower until they go for it. Wow. Okay. And if they have a miscast as well, we're just wrecked. But we'll see what they've got here. We've got a lot of life to play with, so I'm not very scared yet. Let's cast the Lovestruck Beast and draw some cards. With 2 Underworld Dreams, we need a Clover to go with the Borrower, or they just kill us with the Peer. This has been another case, though. It's like, how good can their hand be? If it's absolutely busted, then we can't win anyway. So, since we can't play around it by borrowing on here, we should just use the Uro now. I'm waiting for the, like, GG! He tapped out! He tapped out! I got him! I'm so good! Let's see if it's there. Is it there? They have to scry first. It's to the top. That's scary. Okay. Oh. Alright. And we drew the second Borrower. That's clutch. That can be played in response to Peer. Alright, our opponent's at 8. Let's go. Land, land. Nothing. The opponent's at 8. The opponent's at 8. They're just dead, right? I mean, we're gonna take some damage. It's pretty funny, but we got him. Only in dreams. Yeah. That's a pretty low life total now that I'm starting to think about it. Is it too low? Down to 4. Down to 4. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Now, I can do this in response, so. But, yeah, we didn't need it either. We can go to 2 here, as long as we don't make a mistake. Good game. Oh my god, that was scary. What a scary game. think that's a keeper. The Uro, the Henge. We need another island to bring Uro back, but it's all there, you know? This hand does stuff. Goodbye, Clover. We hardly knew you at all. To the bottom. Alright. Ooh, look at that draw. Edgewall Innkeeper, or Folk's Secret Keeper, draw a card. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. Opponent with some scry action. And they also have an Innkeeper. We have another Borrower. I think we Uro here. If we hit an island, it's just nuts. Dear Lord. How? How does he do it? I think my Innkeeper is better than theirs. We have an Uro coming back, so we don't need the Innkeeper as much to keep moving our deck forward. Alright, double Innkeeper from the opponent. This is gonna be something. It's really gonna be something. When they say go, do you think that's a Brazen Borrower? They're probably going to bounce the Uro. I still think it's worth it. We get the ramp. So we do have a way to get cards back. The, what is it? Once in Future? Yeah, that's it. We have a Once in Future in the sideboard. So we do want to try to leave the Clovers. Don't overthink it, though. Exile them if you have to. Nope, there's the Borrows. Keep trying to swap an Innkeeper. Nope. Alright, Lovestruck Beastie, here we go. Our opponent's gonna start drawing the cards. What should we do? How are we supposed to win this game? I haven't played this mirror. I'm kind of terrified. Well, we need to hit lands. We need to find Lucky Clover. Like, these are things that need to happen. Milling the opponent out might not be ridiculous, but we have to have Clovers, and there's already 2 down there. But if we go get Once in Future, we need another green. So let's... don't need the 1/1 that much. Let's just play our Lovestruck Beastie. Get our card draw. There's a Clover. Okay. But we still didn't hit a land for the turn, which is frustrating, and the opponent might have a way to deal with the Clover. Let's play a Brazen Borrower, because I don't think bouncing their stuff is going to be very good. And we do hit our land for the turn, so we keep moving in that direction. And we have a flying attacker. We want to make sure we have a mana advantage on the opponent. I think that's the best way to win the game, is to keep a very strong mana advantage. Clover advantage, mana advantage. Boo! Boo! Boo this Clover, boo! If we draw another land, we can play Clover, Fae of Wishes, return to nature their Clover. That's advantage. That is advantage. And it's a main phase Borrower, which tells me they want to hit a land drop. Kind of what we did. Or no, they already played a land. I don't know. I don't know what was up with that. I do have another Radiant Fountain in the sideboard I can grab. That will do. That's why it's there! How about that? You thought I was crazy, putting a Radiant Fountain in my sideboard. You thought I had lost my mind. Well, behold. We're at 30. I'll attack the opponent with my creatures, although we do want the henge, so. Alright. Still on a mana advantage and a clover advantage. I'm gonna play every turn as if these clover and mana advantages are very important. Our opponent may have red mana in their deck. We will have to see. They beanstalk for 1. That you love to see. When they have to beanstalk without a clover, that is a good thing. No! Wait, what? Why did they beanstalk without the clover? I don't know. Perhaps we will never know. Henge. Alright, so we want to bounce this. That's going to be 2 mana. We have 4 mana otherwise. Let's play the Heart's Desire. Token. Play the other side. Secret Keeper. Draw. Land. Good. Should I be trying to deck my opponent? Or should I just be trying to keep everything moving forward from my side? Petty Theft can bounce you. Heck, I'll even bounce you so I can start attacking you. I keep offering this Innkeeper, but they definitely trade it for this 1/1, so we won't do that. The Beast can just make some more. It's not particularly great. Yeah, let's mill the opponent. It might come down to this. It really might. Oh wow, look at it sparkling. So, I have 7 mana. Could be 8. Clover, Lovestruck Beast, 2 Innkeepers, so you can draw a ton of cards. Another good reason to put pressure on their library. We also are drawing 2 cards for every creature we play because of Innkeeper and Henge. Our opponent just got red mana online for the first time here, so if they have a Bone Crusher Giant, they can take out the Innkeeper. They didn't make the 1/1s. I thought they'd make the 1/1s to block our beasts, but they did not. This is interesting. And now here comes the Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, Clover advantage, mana advantage. That's the name of the game. Nice. We want to draw some land first before we use Uro to play a land. We want 2 mana open for the Borrower. I guess we do this now. And they scoop it up. Opponent feels too far behind. What a hand. What a hand, but I don't think we lead on the edgy. I think we want to go Clover into some kind of an adventure, which we need to rip off the top. That, yeah, like that. Like that. I'll take an untapped land. Will I take a 3rd Clover? If we're in the Adventure Mirror, this card is so crucial. Alright. Wow. I can't believe I'm doing this, but... I mean, these Clovers can be so much mana, it's insane. Our opponent fetches red. We might not be in the Adventure Mirror, or we might be. Gotta mute you because you're doggo. Alright, our opponent has an Edgy. Here's Clover. Okay, it's the mirror. Mana advantage, Clover advantage. Right now our opponent has a big mana advantage, but our advantage will pick up when this Beanstalk happens. Oh my goodness. There just needs to be a card. It should be 1 mana. It should say exile all lucky Clovers from the game. End of story. That simple. Did our opponent bring Shieldbreaker? No, it's Borrower. Okay, I got excited for a second because I was just thinking, like, you know, I could run Shieldbreaker. We better fetch this. We might not draw land. In my adventure deck, in my Teamer adventure deck, I could run Shieldbreaker. Alright, we draw the land. Let's go double Clover, and then the Beanstalk next turn. Insane. The opponent can beat a draw like this if they're tempoing us, so like if they have multiple Lovestruck Beasts. But right now they don't have any tempo. Right now they're chilling. I do think they have a Bone Crusher Giant from the way they've been playing. So something to think about whether or not to play these Innkeepers. Oh my goodness. This is stupid. This is stupid. It's actually +1 mana each time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. One, 2, 3, 4. Alright, 6 mana. We don't want to play the Edgies. We don't want to play the Edgies and get them stomped. Let's play those when we are about to play the Giants. Make sure we get to draw cards. Are you kidding? Did that really just happen? Just now. That happened. That freaking happened, you guys. Insane. Insane. Alright, one of each basic still left in the deck. That calls for a your go. I don't care who you are, that's funny. Alright, we could lose in some ways. Like, it's not over. We could draw really dead. Alright. We did not draw really dead. Here's Ugin. What else? What else is mirror gold? I mean, we've got all the mana. There's Sublime Epiphany. Here's Overflowing Insight. The opponent has 2 mana open. We could just counter whatever they play with Miscast. At some point this will get something. We could also just be ready for their Clover with our own Return to Nature. I think that's better. Not that it probably matters a lot. It is just awesome. The end.
the world,
Go away.
and you will go lost to history.
Alright, they go away. Innkeeper.
Return to the essence of the multiverse.
Draw a card. I'm not going for double Innkeeper because they're going to kill this somehow, I think. They might have another Bone Crusher. No, this time they don't. Alright. In that case, we'll play the other one. Yep. Brazen. Very brazen of you. Ooh, let's see what they find. Is it going to compete with having 16 mana? No. No, it will not. Check sideboard, nothing there. It's got the pieces. It's a little slow, but we're on the play. And in this format, a few tap lands might not absolutely kill you. They sort of? Like, they can. It's definitely possible. Just not as often. I'll keep an untapped land very happily, though. Speaker. Okay, we need to slow the opponent down. They can't be getting in for free life when they can make angels with that life. So we're going to make a 1/1 now and keep another edgy. Earth. Interesting pair of cards. One's kind of aggressive. It gets benefit from attacking, the other makes walls. It does play into the life gain theme, I get that part, but... Alright, let's get the Clover down. Let's get one of the Innkeepers down. This is a matchup where Brazen Borrower needs to show up and shine. Massey. So I like the Bassy with the Speaker. Like, this is something I didn't really think about or realize, but the indestructibleness really allows you to push the life total. So I really like that. Get 2 lands, 3 total. We can play a Lovestruck Beast, or we can play another Innkeeper and then a Lovestruck Beast and draw 2. At least be able to block the Speaker, but it won't stop the Speaker. And then we can attack Basriket. The problem with Basriket, eventually it ultimates, and that ultimate is no joke. So I think we have to draw a Brazen Borrower, so I think we have to slow roll the Beanstalk Giant. Planeswalkers in this format aren't very good, but like they're significantly less powerful by a lot. But they are a lot harder to remove. Eliminate could take this out, but there's not many things that just go out there and off the Planeswalker. Opponent at 24, by the way, is in Angel territory. They have a Hushbringer.
Now is the time to strike.
And here we go. It's Angel time. It might be too powerful for us. Alright, Edgewall Innkeeper. 04, draw 3 cards for 1 mana. Ancestral Recall. Not a lot of hit though. Alright, let's venture. We might end up milling this opponent too, but Uro may still have a role to play in this game. Is that 2 Phase of Wishes? Ouch. Would have been nice to draw those, but that happens sometimes, and we still could draw one. Opponent doesn't have a great block here, and they do want to ultimate this, so I guess we'll throw the Lovestruck Beast at it, but they've got this wall. Wall's got you covered. Dude, you can't secret keep a library without lighting it up, man. Crazy. My computer is working overtime. What is going on? Is it really just Arena? Yeah, it really is. Just Arena and Streamlabs OBS, which is what I use to record. That's it.
Find your valor and fight.
Sounds like my computer's gonna melt. It's so excited about this game.
I trust in your ability.
All right, where's Brazen Borrower, guys? We're gonna need it. We're taking 7 in the air. 7. Life Game putting on a show for the kids. Hush brought. That's game, man. This can pump the flyers, and we are very dead. I guess make them do it. Just drew too many lands. It was a good hand. Just drew too many land. And no Brazen Borrower. The card we needed in the matchup. Milled away our own phase. Yeah. Just did not go our way.
The heart of a hero beats within your breast.
Ultimate? No ultimate?
I will guard your
Come
advance.
on. Alright. I stuck around for the ultimate, man. The kids wanted the ultimate. I was trying to provide. And we are back for the post-game analysis, wrap-up discussion, coaching, locker room talk, whatever you want to call it, for the cool kids. The Cool Kids Club. The folks who stay till the end, who actually watch the entire videos. You out there, you're cool. And I do think this is the best deck. It's the best I've found. Mostly because it smashes the mirror and it gets to play 3 broken cards and make good use of them as opposed to 2. So I literally went from the percentages. I think I was like down to 96% from messing around with Rakdos Sacrifice and blue-white control. This thing, the run with this deck was epic. I know I lost once. I have no idea how many I won. I stopped keeping track. I played it a little bit without recording just to kind of figure it out. And then I was like, this is too good. I have to start recording. And as you see, I'm finishing up. Like, I kept playing even after I stopped recording again because I was just on such a hot streak. I think I finished at rank 87. From the percentages to the top 100 is no joke. And I think I lost 1 game the whole time, which, to be fair, included in this video. But, oh my goodness. It's a beast. People don't really know how to beat it, and they definitely don't know how to solve it in the mirror, because once the milling starts happening, the opponent's just like, oh crap, the opponent's at, like, they're at 34 life, my Fling Beanstalk Giant doesn't get that far, and I have no library left. And I have Edgewall Innkeepers on the board, but if I play an adventure creature, I draw cards and I mill myself. Oh! It's savage, but it's hard to play, it takes work. Get some practice. Don't change too much. Don't put a Shark Typhoon in the deck because it's a Shark Typhoon. Okay? Not if you care about the wins and losses, but otherwise do whatever you want. What can I do? So, today's shout out is a self-server. Cool Kids Club. I assume you enjoy the content or you probably wouldn't be here. But the goal, the actual goal, 100k subs by the end of the year. YouTube play button is all I want for Christmas. And as the time that you're watching this, we're probably just going over 80,000. That means 20,000 more people need to sub. 60% of the people who watch my videos are not subbed to the channel. Actually, more than that. So if you are one of those, sub. Share it with your friends. Share it on Twitter. Let the movement begin. Let's go. 100k. All I want for Christmas. It's all I can ask for. So, please subscribe to the channel. I don't say like and subscribe every video. I barely say it every week. I'm just a YouTuber who I always said I would rather have people watching my video than subscribed, but I just decided I need a goal and I set it out for myself. YouTube play button. 100K subscribers this year in 2020. Let's do it. Let's make something out of this year, man. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Subscribe.